It is Sunday, November 5th, 2023, and this is the brand new RV Shenanigans show. I'm Ryan.
I'm Lauren, and together we are Millers in Motion, a husband and wife duo from the Fort Worth area who recently sold our house and our ranch, and now we live full-time in a toy hauler RV.
And we want to welcome you to our podcast studio. A couple of things. One, if you're watching this on a YouTube podcast, you can visually see where we're at. If you're listening to this on wherever you listen to your podcast, whether it be Apple, Amazon podcast, Apple, Amazon, whatever all the
Spotify.
That's what I was looking for. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Podcast. We appreciate you listening. So we're going to dive right into why in the world are we starting a podcast?
And you may think it's just because we like to talk, but that's not the entire case.
For Lauren.
True. Very true.
I like to talk. But the real reason is that, you know, when we make our YouTube videos and or some of the short stuff we do, we don't get to, unfortunately, dive into just a ton of detail. And sometimes we have guests on the YouTube channel and we don't get to get the full story. You know, we try to keep our YouTube videos around that 12 to 18 minute mark. And sometimes we just can't do that.
It is physically impossible. No, but also we really want to be able to convey more information to you guys because we are out here seeing and doing and experiencing so much, and we just feel like we have a lot to share with you.
And it was an excuse. The wind just picked up. And it was also an excuse for me to buy more technology and gear.
Which is always what we like to travel with in a small space.
Yeah. So the other thing, too, is that we also want to be able to bring guests on the show and really deep dive into some topics. And this will allow us to do that and share it with the community.
And I think it will also allow us to use those guests that have knowledge in areas that we don't. And so maybe that's something that we're looking to learn from along the way as well.
Yep, exactly. So here's a bigger question, though. Why in the world are we calling it RV Shenanigans?
Because it's just plain fun, just like us.
Convincing.
No, so shenanigans for us is kind of all-encompassing, right? And so it's going to be some of what we are up to, some of what the community is up to, hot things in the business outlook, all kinds of different things. So we just wanted something that was a little fun, a little upbeat, and all-encompassing for whatever we decide to throw at you.
Now, obviously, this show is going to be very different from most of our shows. This is really just an introduction to what we're doing. And I don't know why the wind has decided all of a sudden to just pick up 3 times as bad as it was, but sorry if you're catching wind noises and the patio doors are whacking around because I can hear them in the headphones. So with this, we wanted to, if you are listening to us and not watching through the YouTube channel and you don't know who we are, we wanted to give you a little insight to who we are and what we do. Lauren already kind of did that. But if you don't mind, talk a little bit about just yourself individually for the new people out there.
For all the newbies, first of all, thank you guys for being here. And for everybody that's been along for the ride, we appreciate you just as well. Absolutely. So I am a physician assistant in internal medicine, and I've been practicing in a clinic for about 11 years. We're going to be changing that up just a little bit, but I thoroughly enjoy what I do, and right now I can't imagine my life without doing that. So that's kind of the Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Outside of that, I have 5 horses, and one of them travels around the nation, and we compete in jumping, is the kind of the segment of sport that we go into. So we've raised her from a 4-year-old, and that is just a lot of fun, physically and mentally challenging for both of us.
Let me clarify, she doesn't come with us on the RV. Just in case you thought that was a thing.
The horse, he means. I come, the horse doesn't.
Exactly. It is not. We have another trailer that has where the horse would ride.
Right.
Or we ship them with the barn she rides out of based in Texas.
But that was actually kind of where some of this RV stuff came into play, was we saw everybody at the horse shows bringing their houses with them. We thought, man, that's a pretty cool idea. So anyways, that's that.
Here we are in one now.
Here we are. We just said go big or go home. But yes, so that's kind of the 9 to 5. That's the big hobby. I also enjoy 2 things that you may think I'm crazy for, and that's running and reading. I'm sorry to offend you with those, but that's what we do in the spare time. And then, of course, the traveling that we do together. Right.
And then for me, more complicated.
Always. He's always more complicated. You'll come to know this.
So I started off out of school as a golf professional. I played for a little while, got my PGA certification, or what's called a PGA Class A, ran a couple of different country clubs in Texas, started a teaching business, did that for a little while. And then as we kind of started building what is now Miller's in Motion, this has started to become my full-time gig now, between the YouTube videos and managing the business side of that whole thing, and partnerships, and now a podcast. And you don't realize how much work goes into all of this stuff until you start to really do it. And it does kind of become a time suck. And it's why a lot of YouTubers unfortunately fail, is they don't realize the time commitment that goes into it. So one of my proudest stats so far isn't really like a subscriber count or views or anything like that. For me, it's you enjoying your shower over there.
I just got peed on by our air conditioner.
Yeah, so we're right in the wind path, and our AC drip is hitting Lauren now, unfortunately. But for us, we've never missed a release date. Now we've moved release dates around because of certain things, like Super Bowl Sunday. We didn't, and we moved things because of analytics told us to do something else, and so. But we've never missed a release date in a little over a year and a half now of posting. So no matter what, it goes up.
And I'll say that he's, on the spot with that it is a labor of love, to say the least. So, yes, we really enjoy doing it, and it gives him such a creative outlet, something that he didn't really get in several other career options. There are some of us that fit in the office 9 to 5 kind of box, and there are some of us that don't. And it's all about bringing out your strengths and finding something you enjoy doing.
And I don't fit in that box.
No, he does not fit into a box.
So that's kind of a brief little quick intro to who is Ryan and Lauren. Miller's in Motion, like Lauren said earlier, started a few years ago with an idea to go full time and do those things. Our first RV was a Grand Design Sawtooth 390 RK that, I think everybody picks their first RV and is like, this is going to be great. This is going to be awesome. And it was. But it also led, because it was our first RV ever, it also led with but I don't like this, I don't like that, and things that we didn't know when we first started out.
Right. They say no RV is perfect, and I think some of that is because once you find one that you think is perfect, maybe life changes, and that's partially what happened to us. But let's also introduce them that they may never see or hear, but the accessory characters. We have 2 dogs we travel with, so there will be plenty of that conversation in the different podcasts. And so we have we're going to call her 90 pounds. She's on a diet. We're working on it, okay?
We're all on a diet.
90-pound chocolate lab, and then we have a white, fluffy, marshmallow-looking dog as well as Samoyed. So those are our fur children that travel with us.
Bailey and Mishka. Bailey is the lab, Mishka is the Samoyed.
Yes.
What does Mishka mean?
Mishka means little bear, and she's the little polar bear.
In Inuit or Russian, I think it's the same in both. So, so that's our family. That's kind of what we did. Now the rig, we obviously are not in that fifth wheel anymore. We recently switched it out to a 2024. Still feels fun to say that because we're not in 24 yet.
Right.
That'll wear off in a few months. Alliance Valor 44 V14. She's a big girl.
One of the biggest on the market. But we had that toy hauler space. We have this lovely patio that we can do podcasts from. It's really made traveling a lot easier, fits our lifestyle a lot better nowadays.
Well, and we will do an episode just over this because I know that there is a handful of people that just want to listen. I can tell you on travel days, we deep dived some podcasts to kind of find something to listen to when we were coming back from Tennessee recently to Texas. And yeah.
That gave us a lot of ideas.
It did. So we will go into more descriptive about this RV in a future episode, as well as some other topics. But so one thing that we want to do as we kind of wrap up this little introduction to us is every episode we're going to call it the Shenanigans Spotlight, I guess. And what that is there's either a news story or something that we find super interesting that we just want to share and chat about kind of briefly and quickly. And we're going to go ahead and start doing that right out of the gates in episode 1.
Oh, are we?
Did you not know that? Somebody didn't read the run a sheet that I'm writing as we go.
Run of show.
Or run a show, too. It's on a sheet, though.
It's on a sheet. Uh-huh.
So in the first version of this little RV Shenanigans Spotlight, and it's not really a shenanigan, it's a news story, but it came out, the CEO and president of Winnebago, and his name escapes me, in some sort of a financial call to the public, said that by the end of fiscal year 2024, Grand Design, which is owned and operated by Winnebago, is going to come out with a motorhome.
Intriguing.
A drivable motorhome.
So they have several lines of towable RVs, everything from little teeny tiny travel trailers to giant toy haulers. So I wonder what made them want to go that route, since you can't really say that they have experience in that department.
They don't, but Winnebago does, obviously.
Right.
And so is this a Winnebago thing being pushed on it? Is this Don Clark in Grand Design going, hey, maybe it's time? But they also, this last year, just at the open house that was about a month ago, if that now, they unveiled, I believe, 3 new lines of trailers.
Yeah, you're right.
Some bumper pulls, some fifth wheel models, some just kind of, there's a term going around now called decontenting, which is essentially they've jam-packed so much features into these RVs that they've gotten really heavy and really expensive. And so they're trying to kind of appeal to everybody, and they're decontenting some of these a little bit, which is great. I mean, they're trying to hit more demographics, which is awesome. But, you just launched 3-ish new travel trailer and bumper pull lines and fifth wheels. Why drivables all of a sudden?
All of a sudden. Well, and I'm sure it wasn't all of a sudden. I'm sure this has been in the making. But
sure.
Why is there a push to throw out so many lines? Like, what is new that you're bringing to the market?
Besides your purchase by Winnebago.
In the industry, right, except for that. So I'm interested to see what direction that goes. When we looked at drivables, there were certain things about Winnebagos that we weren't a fan of, and I'm interested to see if those convey to the Grand Design ones, since they are owned by Winnebago.
Which is curious, because I always look because it's fun. I have actually found that I like Winnebagos way more now than I did when we were initially looking.
Wow, and that was only 2 years ago. So
right.
I wonder if Grand Design had some influence in that direction, if they actually got some feedback up the stream the other way.
Possibly. Yep.
So we will see what they manage to come out with. Apparently they are up to a lot, so we'll see a lot.
There is a lot going over there. So just a couple of things that are coming up. Obviously, we're going to be releasing a new episode every Tuesday going forward. When this episode comes out, I'm hoping in the next week or two. But we don't know because it's the very first one. So we're going to kind of record a few of these, see how it goes. You don't care because you'll have already heard it and you'll have another one next week.
That's right. Make sure we don't push each other off the patio in doing so.
Okay, we're moving these inside after this or down on the ground, one of the two. But that's going to wrap it up for us in the very first episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you could do me a favor, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave us a comment. What do you think about Grand Design making a motorhome down below? If you are listening to this on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any of your platforms, if you could do me a favor and give us a little bit of a rating and some feedback, we'd appreciate it. And anything that we talked about today will be down in the show notes below.
Make sure to holler at us if there are topics you would like us to talk about for an hour. We'll be glad to do that. And if you haven't already, head on over to our website, millersinmotion.com. You can find out all the fun things that we are up to, everything from the Facebook page to the Instagram to the YouTube channel. And if that really isn't enough for you, you can also sign up to be part of the family. We would love to have you there too.
Which is our membership program. Plus we've got shirts. We got it all. Just go over there and check it out.
Have fun.
If when in doubt, type in millersinmotion.com, head over there, and all the stuff are there to be seen. That's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for listening and or watching, and we will see you. No, we're not going to see you. We'll talk to you next week, I guess.
Bye now. Have a good week.
Have a good week.